Hello, gorgeous, and welcome back to the collective. I am super excited that you're tuning in with me this morning. In today's episode, I want to talk just a little bit about what happens when the person who typically holds everything together forgets about herself. Like, you are that glue that keeps all of the chaos in place. It keeps everyone from unraveling. And then suddenly, when you need to be held together, you just kind of disappear into the abyss. And I'm bringing this up because recently I had become her again. Like, this happened to me. I recognized all of a sudden that those old habits of caretaking, of people pleasing, of overdoing and overperforming were sliding back into my everyday life as I attempted to navigate the mental and emotional gymnastics of corporate and business and clients and kids and trying to manage my own emotions. And in that moment, I didn't beat myself up, but I realized that I had two choices. I could keep attempting to perform the habits that broke me years ago, or I could rewrite the story. I could reclaim my narrative. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that today. So grab a pen, tag a friend. This one's going to be super good. All of this starts with a subtle wake up. And I've got some notes over here because I don't want y'all to miss nothing, okay? It starts with that wake up moment when you realize that you are doing the most, the absolute most. It's when you say yes to something that should have been a quick favor, and all of a sudden it's an all-nighter, or 4.5 hours later you realize you haven't made it home and your kids haven't eaten and your dog probably needs to go out. It's suddenly feeling burnt out because you look at your timesheet and you've put in like 96 hours. It is that sudden feeling that you're on the verge of tears all the time, but nothing is wrong. And it's because you are exhausted, because you've been overperforming to prevent other people from having to get a little bit uncomfortable. When in reality, if you had just delegated, if you had taken some time to say no, if you had enforced the boundaries, you wouldn't be in this position. For me, it was finally realizing that my cup was overflowing and I said no. And I felt the pain of guilt start to slip up inside of me. And I was like, wait a minute, what is going on? And I started jotting down all of the things that I had done in the day. And I was like, how did I get all of that done? A, how did I get all of that done? And B, why do I feel so guilty about not taking on more? And it's because so frequently as women, especially inside this collective, we have been given, we have been assigned this role that says you have to save everyone. It's your job, it's your responsibility to make other people's lives easier. And that's not true. While it's your job to make other people's lives joyful, while you are assigned to be this light, it's not necessarily your job to take on everything so that no one else has to struggle even just a little bit. And that's a hard pill to swallow. So I want you to just consider that maybe you don't need a rewrite. Maybe you just need a reminder that you are a main character, and main characters don't just disappear or stay quiet to keep the peace. Main characters don't get caught up in trying to control what's happening around them. They anchor down and control what's happening within them. And that is a game changer. So if you haven't already, grab that pen, because we're going to talk about something that I literally just thought of. Sometimes it's not that we need a rewrite. We need a reset. We need a reminder about exactly who the F we are. What Nikki say, somebody please tell them who the F I is. Sometimes you get to remember who you are. And there are 4 R's to a reset. I jotted them down right here so you don't miss anything. The first R is to remember. Like, I want you to just remember this is not your first rodeo, boo. This is not the first time that you've been down and out. This is not the first time that you've caught yourself overperforming or people pleasing that you've made an attempt to overcome. This might be the first time you're doing it with Coach K, but baby, you have experience in this specific situation, and this time you get to do better. So the first R is remember who you are. Number 2, you get to reclaim the narrative. I want you to take back the pen. Drop in the comments, I'm taking back the pen. Nobody gets to tell you who you are. Nobody is assigning a role to you. It doesn't matter what you did in 2005, 2015. It doesn't matter what you did yesterday. Today, you get to make a different choice because you said so. Somebody say, because I said so, down in the comments. I know so frequently our past has us in the chokehold, but I'm letting you know right now, you get to make a choice. There is always a choice. Okay? Number 3 is to reignite your energy. What gets you fired up? I know personally, when everything feels like it is melting on top of me, I feel like I don't have the energy or even the desire to get out and do the things that light me up. But maybe it's playing some music. Maybe it's taking that walk or hitting that Zumba class or getting out with your family or your friends or your spouse or whatever it is. Dig deep. What sets your soul on fire? I told y'all last week I went back to training, back in the classrooms, back hands on with the people within the facility. Why? Because it ignites something in me that I cannot express. I can't vocalize it. Get fired up, okay? And then number 4 is to realign. I see women all the time who are chasing a goal with all of their might, and it's not even what they want for themselves. It is okay if your goals, even just in this season, need to shift. If the shift is to making sure there's a roof over my head and everyone is fed and everybody is safe, that is okay. But make sure you're in alignment, and things that you can delegate, delegate. Things that don't matter right now, it's okay to slide them to the back burner. But baby, you go on that front eye, your favorite one. You are not one of those things that we just get to cast to the wayside. So if you are resetting, drop down in the comments today. This is my reset. I cannot wait to see what you're doing differently in your life. So if you need support, you know, you can DM me. Next week, we are kicking off that Becoming Her again over in Backstage. So if you're not in Backstage, I will drop the link to Backstage in the comments. Come and hang out with me. I'm talking 5 to 10 minute trainings, rewrites, journal prompts, where I'm supporting you in this journey of not just surviving, but truly thriving in this current climate. I know it's wild out there. I'm in it with you, and I know you are capable of amazing things. So, this is your story. This is your reset, and I cannot wait to see what you do with it. Love y'all. Talk soon. Bye.